This is going to be a clear video of what I meant. It should be short about the, I think it was generational gaps. I think it was generational gaps and such. My video, I didn't go into full detail about the generational gap between the baby boomers and their children and the grandparents, the World War II, the World War Ones, you know, them. And I brought up, I brought up, I think shooters, first person shooters. I didn't really go into heavy detail because I don't have a lot of. I do a lot of top of the head videos. I don't plan and put stuff in slideshows and you learn something today. It's like a lot of these things that we talk about on the internet or in life is really, I won't say common sense, but it's pretty simple to figure out. And the first person shooters, what they do, I mean third person as well, but third person usually is like a more, you're seeing like you're seeing the setting and stuff exploding, or it's desensitized. It's never really like a uh realistic. Like Uncharted 3, it's realistic but kind of not really. Gears of War, it's realistic but kind of not really. The emotions are realistic, but the you know what you see. But when you go into something like, say, Battlefield 3, the Battlefield franchise by EA and DICE, or DICE, my bad, DICE, or you go into Call of Duty franchise, how much Call of Duty they had, like about probably 10 so far. I may be off. Uh, you have Far Cry 3. You have um uh Halo. I'm not Halo. Halo's cool. Halo's not that bad. But you get the point. There's these realistic modern day shooters where you have over 100 guns to unlock. You have three types of grenades and camo, and it's trying trying to live my life the way I mapped it out in my head. I can't, not like I can't be a hypocrite, but I want to be a hypocrite and contradict myself, as least as I possibly can. Like limit it to like probably 3 a week or some shit. Like what I'm trying to say, because I can't stand against war in Afghanistan, war in Iran, war period, and play games that support war. It's Americans versus the Russians, or it's American versus North Korean in the game. What was it called? Homefront, where North Korea invades America. Like it's all these things in the movies too. Like if you really don't like war, don't watch these. Don't give money. Don't watch them. Not even give money. You can give money, but but that made no sense right now. But you know what I mean. Like don't give money to it and don't watch it. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't support war. You don't like war. Yeah. You want to learn from it as a documentary type of thing? Okay, but don't like, I hate war, and go home and play 8 hours of Call of Duty. Even though you may think in your head it's not war, but you're being desensitized to killing, violence. I mean, it exists, yeah, but in a way you're justifying a drone strike. Think about this. When when you have games, right, and the maps in multiplayer or single player, it's, say I'm in America, I'm American, right? And the game has no American maps. It's like in South America. It's all probably in communist countries, or just places of interest to the government, my U.S. government, right? And slowly, little bit by little bit, next thing you know, they come out with a game, same franchise comes out with a game, and there's American maps. Now, the kill streaks you may have, or options you may have, is a predator drone strike, nuke, or something like that. Like, you're comfortable now through the game with the scenery of your homeland, or your country, or your state, or a replica of your state, or whatever. You're comfortable now with a drone striking your enemy and getting a triple kill. Now you're comfortable with going 25-0 and getting a nuke to blow up and win the whole game. You're desensitizing yourself. Like I said about the males, I feel like I don't have the numbers, but I just go off a hunch. I think that there's more males out of work than females, and these males have nothing to do besides play. Not nothing to do, but most of them play video games. You know, girls play video games, females play video games too, but I mean, I've never really seen the difference between a female gamer and a male gamer. I don't think there is probably a difference. It's probably just about personality. So I was gonna say that probably with females, they're more delicate with their gaming. They don't really go hard and create a whole lot of chaos or whatever. I'm not sure. I was gonna say that, but I did say it, but I was gonna use it, but I'm not using that. Uh, but it's just the this desensitization of driving in a tank, picking up a gun, and it's like I think Philip JTR, Philip Jr. I'm subscribed to. He mentioned something about what did he mention? A lot like how in one of the video he said how most preppers wouldn't, or most people who have guns wouldn't use their guns to shoot anybody. And just taking a little bit from taking that statement from that video and using it in this one, I think that's true. A lot of people who have guns, not you don't have to be gamers, but just switching gears a little bit, they wouldn't shoot their guns. So it's just this crazy thing of like buy a whole lot of guns, buy a whole lot of guns, buy a whole lot of guns, first person shooters, first person shooters. It's all these. It's just like this bubble. It's just like ready to pop soon. I mean, probably not now, but later on. It's just soon because that's how leaders of government work. They don't do things in their term. You don't do things in their presidency. They build and for the next guy to do it. So it's like hot potato. It's like the leaders of the free world, or leaders in general, dictators or whatever. They have a bomb in their hand. I mean, some probably dictators probably do it different from like presidents, like democracy and all that stuff. But what it is, I feel like with the democracy side, we have a bomb and it's lit, and you just hot potato, hot potato. You just throw it to the next guy, and he's like, oh my, and his terms are up. He throws the bomb, and then it's just like, I guess there's an end game, there's an end guy to lighten the fuse and blowing up the bomb. I don't know, but that's how I feel about that. So it's just this people who have guns may not use their guns and may hand them in and then get arrested or FEMA camp or whatever. And then you got the people the young guys, like the youngins who play video games and just love to shoot shit. Like it's no wonder things are getting dumbed down, man. I mean, obviously they want to be dumbed down, but it's just it's blatant now. It's just right in your face. It's always been in your face. It's always been in your face, but now it's like really, really in your face. Really, really in your face. So it's to be that age, to be a young man and like have fun shooting at things. Like when I was growing up in the '90s, man, I watched my brother and cousin play the PlayStation. Sometimes the Sega, but roughly the Sega, but mostly the PlayStation, first one. And there was game. I don't know if first-person shooters were out back then, but it was more strategy-based games, RPG and action. Like it really wasn't. Even in Crash Bandicoot, there was some type of strategy. You know what I'm trying to say? Even in Crash Bandicoot, and now it's just like, oh, the newest, hottest game is out. You're shooting, you're shooting. I mean, and I'm not jumping all over the place a little bit, but in the video about what was it? Oh yeah, the generational gaps and such. I'm not sure if that's the video, but it's in one of my newest videos that I've uploaded, or my recent videos I uploaded, is that Planetside 2. Comparing Planetside 2, it's a massive, it's an MMO RPG? No, MMO FPS. It's a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter. That's what the MMO FPS stands for. And I was mentioning was that even though I think they're human in the game, the characters are human, but even though they're like on a different, they're like on continents. Really, it's not to say that it's not reflecting or desensitizing us towards the violence we portray on this planet, but it's more like it's colorful. There's like plasma. It's not really that aggressive as Battlefield or Call of Duty. When you knife attack, excuse me, someone in Battlefield, it has an animation to it. It's like stab you in the throat and I look you in the eye. And it's like things like it's just like trying to. It's like the line between cool and not cool, and a lot of things we do on this planet is being blurred out. It's being erased. Was there was a time where I'm not trying to say I'm an advocate for non-violent games, but think about it. Like we consume. Think of yourself as this being, this alien that can consume anything. They can eat a mouse, a computer, a stereo, a bottle of water, a piece of steel. It can eat a tank. And think of it like this, where you are going around, and sometimes consciously and unconsciously and subconsciously, you're just eating everything you see. You see a billboard, iPod. You don't really think about iPod, but the more you see it, the more you see it, the more you hear it, the more you see people with it. You're like, well, I'm gonna get an iPod. Looks kind of cool. Okay. You know, you have these jeans that you always wear. They're American made. They're really tough. They're good quality. And you know, they don't look as good as the new Gap skinnier 1969 right jeans. They don't look like that, but you know, hey, I mean, I am kind of losing weight. I want to show off my curves, you know, and all this stupid shit. And we just feed into it. We consume it. We consume it. We consume data on a daily basis. Like it's sometimes I don't think we. I don't, sometimes I don't think we like we should. I think we should record ourselves and listen to it. Just get a tape recorder and walk around, and whenever you have a conversation, just press the record button. Just have a habit and press the record button and just start talking. And then little by little you will forget that you press it, and then you start, because in the beginning you will have like, you'll be nervous, like, oh, I'm recording myself. But if you get into the habit of recording yourself, you record what you say naturally, and then you can go home and listen to that and go, wow, day one I was nervous, but day seven I was real comfortable, and I said all these things. I can half remember all these things I said. And then you listen to what you say and the contradict. You just it's just like that, man. It's really like you're hardwired into the grid. You're hardwired into just being autonomous. You're just hardwired into saying it. Like I watched a few videos because on Battlefield 4. It's Battlefield 3 and it's Battlefield 4 coming out next year for the new game consoles like PS3 and PS, you know, and Xbox 360. They're having the PS4 and the new Xbox, right? And there's a whole bunch of videos like, oh, the Battlefield 4 rumors. It should be like this. It should be like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm thinking to myself, like, it's like we don't give a fuck about how much we have. We literally it's a good thing and a bad thing. And what I'm trying to say is that we have this mentality of we have unlimited everything. We have unlimited amounts of petroleum. We'll never run out of oil. We always have gas cars, gasoline. We always have data. We can make as much fucking PS3 profiles as we want. We can make, you know, a whole array of things because we just have it. But no one has a count of what we have. It's like saying, I'm gonna make 18 apple pies, but I only got 4 apples. But I don't know I have 4 apples. I'm thinking, oh, you know, we've always been eating apples, so we must have more apples. Like that's what I was getting when I was listening to most of these Battlefield 4 videos. Some of them have good content. I'm not knocking the content. They had a lot of good ideas, but it's just that we've become accustomed to not being a part of anything, to the point where we're asking for this, we're asking for that, we're demanding this, but we have no clue of the inventory, so to speak. We have no clue of the inventory. So I hope this cleared it up about the gaming and how the shooting games desensitized and they're violent, and it's just when like I said, when I was growing up in the '90s, I didn't have that visceral. Yeah, like, it was Mortal Kombat and he had blood, but it wasn't like dripping. It wasn't like better graphics of blood. I mean, even though in an artistic way, that's what I'm trying to say. Everyone has this like artistic attachment to things. Some people find art in gaming. Some people find art in tattoos. Tattoos do have art. I'm not saying they don't. It's just that now for me, it's hard to distinguish, especially if I'm not interested in what it is. It's hard for me to distinguish what it originally represents and what it's just trying to be. So someone can get a lot of tattoo stars, Iron Man right here on their shoulder, or I mean the chest, and then some people may look at like, yo, that's art. And some people who will really know the origin of tattoos, and you know they're tattoo artists, they look at that like that's not art. So I mean, there's certain things that I don't know the gist about, but one thing with gaming I could say is that it's turned into this like insta food, like insta meal. You just pour water on it, you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then you get a game. Like that's how I'm interpreting how gaming looks today. Because some people may say, who play games today who are like 15, 16, 14. Oh, games are cool, man. This game is. I'm looking at it like, well, you're not understanding the JIT. They're coming out with sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel of these games that are pretty much identical, and one or two game modes have changed. So think about how much resources and data they're just wasting. I mean, we're gonna have to waste a little bit to get to where we want to be, but it's like no one keeps account of the trash, the dump. Like it's like no one's the garbage man, pretty much. Like there's garbage men out there, and we don't give a fuck about them. We don't give a fuck about the guys who come on Monday or Thursday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and you take out the recycling, you take up the bags, you put it in the back of the truck, and you drive off. No one gives a fuck about those guys. No one cares about them. They're never in the news. They're never in the newspaper. They're never on TV. They're never in a game, a garbage man game. Show they like make game. I mean, probably that's what I should do. Make games that bring up real things. Like you learn from it and you have fun. Because what are you learning from Battlefield 3? What are you learning from Call of Duty? What are you learning from? I mean, there's stories, there's lore, but there's no like. You leave the game like, wow, that was deep. Oh, I want to get a new kill streak. I'm trying to get that new armor. I'm trying to get that new camouflage. What? But that's my long ass rant. Like I said, I wanted to be short, but it didn't get short. It was not short. So I'll leave it with that. I hope that cleared everything up if you watched it this far. Today's Monday. Today's Monday. I mean, the Mondays don't suck. It's just like, today's Monday. But that's it. I don't want to keep rambling.